Have you ever had the feeling that the life you're living isn't truly yours? Like you're following someone else's script? That of your parents, your teachers, your friends? While something deep inside you whispers, "This isn't it." You get through your day, say all the right things and smile when expected. But in the silence, when no one's watching, the question emerges: who am I really? Carl Jung believed that this disconnection isn't random. It's a sign, an alarm that your true self is buried under roles, expectations, and social conditioning. Most people never even ask the question. They live out their lives performing identities that were assigned to them. They become what they think others want them to be. And tragically, they die without ever meeting their true self. From a young age, we're taught to hide parts of who we are. Be polite, don't be too loud, don't be too emotional, don't be too much. So we adapt. We learn to perform. We create what Jung called the persona, a mask we wear to survive, to be accepted, to fit in. This mask isn't inherently bad. Without it, we'd struggle to function socially. But when the persona becomes our entire identity, when we forget where the mask ends and we begin, our life starts to feel hollow. We say yes when we want to say no. We smile while we're screaming inside. We do what's expected of us, not what's true to us. And here's the danger. The persona can earn you approval. It can help you succeed, but it cannot fulfill your soul. If you've ever felt an inexplicable emptiness, a void that no achievement or relationship can fill, this may be why. Because what you truly crave can't be found out there. It's buried within, under years of conditioning. So who are you beneath the persona? To answer that, we must look at the other side of the coin, the parts of you you've rejected, hidden, and tried to forget. Jung called this the shadow. The shadow holds everything you've been told not to be, your anger, your envy, your neediness, your fear. But it also holds your creativity, your rawness, your power. These are not just negative traits. Many are beautiful parts of you that were simply labeled as wrong at some point in your life. A child who's told not to cry learns to suppress emotion. A curious kid labeled too much learns to stay silent. A sensitive teen is told to toughen up, and slowly they bury these pieces of themselves to survive. But these pieces don't disappear. They wait. They show up in outbursts you can't explain, in resentment you try to hide, in irrational reactions that feel beyond your control. That's your shadow speaking, taking the wheel when you refuse to acknowledge it. But here's the truth. The shadow is not your enemy. It's a part of you that wants to be seen. And until you face it, it will continue to shape your life from the dark. Integration, not repression, is the way forward. And this brings us to Jung's most powerful idea, the self. The self is the totality of who you are, the union of your persona and your shadow, your light and your dark, your potential and your pain. Individuation, as Jung called it, is the process of becoming whole. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. If you find this helpful, and this is resonating with you, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss new videos coming every other day. Your support truly means a lot. Thank you. This journey isn't easy. It requires brutal honesty. It asks you to look inward, to face your fears, your mistakes, your contradictions. But it's also the only path to real freedom. Because once you stop living to be accepted and start living to be real, everything begins to change. You speak differently. You choose differently. You no longer settle for a life that looks good, but feels empty. You stop asking, "What do they want from me?" and start asking, "What do I want from myself?" The path to discovering your true self doesn't happen in isolation. There's a deeper layer many overlook, the unconscious, and the archetypes that silently shape your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Without understanding these inner forces, your quest for authenticity remains incomplete. Jung believed most of who we are lies below the surface. Our conscious mind, the part we're aware of, is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it lies a vast, complex realm, the unconscious. And within that, even deeper, lives what Jung called the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of universal patterns and instincts that influence us all, no matter where or when we were born. From this collective unconscious arise the archetypes, ancient, inherited images that shape the way we see ourselves and the world. They appear in myths, religions, fairy tales, films, and in your own dreams and behaviors. Have you ever felt drawn to heroic stories, wise mentors, or rebellious outsiders? That's the archetype speaking. The hero, the sage, the rebel, the caregiver, these are all recurring roles embedded in the human psyche. They guide your actions, dreams, and inner struggles, even if you don't realize it. But here's the catch. You don't consciously choose which archetypes affect you. And if one dominates your identity, it can become a prison. The caregiver may neglect their own needs. The hero might collapse under the weight of perfection. True individuation means recognizing these internal characters and integrating the ones you've ignored. This work isn't done with willpower alone. It requires deep self-observation. The unconscious speaks in symbols, dreams, and repetitive life patterns. If you don't pay attention, you'll stay stuck in cycles you don't understand, living someone else's script, reacting without knowing why. And when these patterns are left unexamined, they control you. That's the danger of non-individuation, when a person resists the journey inward. Jung warned that those who ignore their unconscious aren't spared, they're punished. They experience psychological suffering that no external success can fix. They feel empty, anxious, or depressed without knowing why. Their life may look perfect on the outside, but inside, something is broken. Have you ever noticed someone stuck in the same destructive relationships, making the same mistakes over and over? Or maybe you've felt that in yourself, a sense of stagnation, of living a life that doesn't feel like your own. That's the unconscious demanding to be heard. And if ignored, it will express itself through emotional pain, self-sabotage, or even illness. Another consequence of non-individuation is resentment. People who never discover their true self often blame the world. They resent their families, their partners, or society, but they can't name the source of their frustration. Sometimes that resentment turns inward, into depression, apathy, or quiet despair. But there's a way out. It begins with one brave choice: to stop running. Individuation means having the courage to face yourself, to ask hard questions, to stop performing and start listening to the parts of you that are scared, angry, curious, or forgotten. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. So what does that look like in practice? Living as your true self doesn't mean shouting, "This is who I am," to the world every day. It means making choices from a place of clarity, not fear. It means no longer needing to wear a mask to be loved. It means trusting that being real, even when it's messy, is better than being fake, even if it's praised. But here's the truth. Most people won't do this. They'll choose comfort over authenticity. They'll cling to their persona. They'll stay blind to their shadow. They'll dismiss the power of archetypes. And they'll wonder why they still feel lost. But not you. You're here because some part of you knows that the real you is waiting, beneath the surface, beneath the noise, beneath the roles you've been assigned. And you're ready to meet them. So I'll ask you again, are you willing to walk this path? If this video spoke to something in you, share your story in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were living someone else's life? Have you started peeling back the layers? Don't stop now. The next step is essential, to dive even deeper into the mechanisms that shape your identity and uncover the tools to take back control. Because true transformation doesn't come from changing who you are. It comes from finally becoming yourself. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.